All right. Hey guys. So you already know we're about to do a research vid because you can see the setup. So today we're going to be looking into what is the difference between astral travel, like astral projection, and meditation. First of all, what is astral travel? What is astral projection? Second of all, what is meditation? Because we know what we think it is, but what is the consensus definition? Okay, so that we can apply it more to our lives. And then what are the differences? So let me share my screen. Alrighty. So now we're gonna go. I already have it pulled up. What is astral travel? You know, we're gonna go to our handy dandy Wikipedia first. Wikipedia. Astral projection, also known as astral travel, is a term used in esotericism to describe an intentional out of body experience that assumes the existence of a subtle body known as the astral body or light body through which consciousness can function separately from the physical body and travel throughout the astral plane. The idea of astral travel is ancient and occurs in multiple cultures. The term astral travel was coined and promoted by 19th century theosophists. It is sometimes associated with dreams and forms of meditations. Some individuals have reported perceptions similar to descriptions of astral travel that were induced through various hallucinogenic and hypnotic means, including self-hypnosis. There's no scientific evidence that there is a conscious whose embodied functions are separate from the neural activity, or that one can consciously leave the body and make observations of the physical universe. And astral projection has been characterized as pseudoscience. Well, a lot of things that are now considered science were pseudoscience at some point, which is false or fake science or not proved science. So, for example, the idea of the cell phone in what we perceive to be the 1800s would have been fake science. That would have been the biggest fake news thing. If you would say, hey, in the 18, even in the 70s, if you were to say that there was going to be a device smaller than a calculator that you could literally look at someone on a screen in color and speak to them in real time, like a FaceTime would have been unheard of at that point in time, especially for the older population. They might have been like, wow, that would be cool, but they probably wouldn't even comprehend how that would be possible. Okay. So, okay, so we let's go first, let's look into what is the subtle body, because that's where we're at right now. What is the subtle body? So, a subtle body is a quasi material aspect of the human body, being neither solely physical nor solely spiritual. Okay. According to various esoteric, occult, and mystical teaching, the contrast with the body dualism that has dominated Western thought. Oh, this contrast from the mind body dualism that has dominated Western thought. The subtle body is important in Taoism of China and Dharmic religions such as Hindu, Buddhism, and Jainism, mainly in the branches which focus on Tantra and Yoga, where it is known as something in Sanskrit. However, while mostly associated with Asian cultures, non dualistic approaches in the body are found in many parts of the world. Subtle body concepts and practices can be identified as early as the 2nd century BCE in Taoist texts found in Mongdubi tombs. Okay, but like that's not telling us what it is. Okay, the subtle body consists of focal points often called chakras, connected by channels often called nadis, that convey subtle breath, often called prana. Through breathing and other exercises, a practitioner may direct the subtle breath to achieve supernormal powers, immortality, or liberation. Subtle body in the Western tradition is called the body of light. This concept derives from the philosophy of Plato. The word astral means of the stars. Thus, the astral plane consists of the seven heavens, which might also be associated with the seven chakras, the seven heavens of the classic planets. Neoplastism, Flory and Park, I don't know, elaborated on Plato's description of the starry nature of human psyche. Throughout the Renaissance, philosophers and alchemists, healers, including Paracelsus, we looked him up in the alchemy research video, and his students and natural scientists such as John Dee continue to discuss the nature of the astral world. Okay, it says, through breathing and other exercises, the practitioner aims to manipulate and direct the flow of subtle breath to achieve super normal powers and attain his higher consciousness immortality. So, but that's not really telling us what it is. Like, what exactly is astral projection? Let's see. Astral projection is the supposed act of leaving the body while sleeping. Is it real? Oh, Lordy. Look at this. All this stuff on here. All these commercials. Okay, let's go to the .gov site. Let's see. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. We ain't finna read all this right now. You tripping, child. Let's see. It is characterized by unique sense of child. We want to know, like, what is it? What is it? Like, sometimes like people get like directly to the answer, and then other times you got to go through all these loop-de-loops and all over the place. I'm looking for something very, very. We should ask Chat GTP, Chat GPT, or what's it called, Bard. But I ain't trying to. I'm already on the incognito. I ain't trying to log in right now. Okay. Oh, let's look at Indian news. I'm sure they got it. Okay, astral projection is a natural occurrence. If you have ever experienced a jolt and have been startled from a half sleep state, this is your astral body returning too rapidly to your physical form. It can also be consciously practiced to become aware of other levels of consciousness. There are an infinite number of realities, planes, and realms in the astral dimension. Astral project. Oh, okay. Since astral projection is since astral projection is a naturally occurring phenomenon while asleep, and it seems to be like awake, remember to work on losing your fear of the unknown. Never attempt astral. Oh wow! Wait a minute. Never attempt astral projection while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Start the experience with positive and wholesome thoughts about yourself, your kith and kin, and your imminent experience. I don't know what kith means. Let's look that up. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Third time's a charm. Kith and kin are, because I knew kin, but I'm thinking like, is that like yin and yang? So friends and relatives. Um, so start with the positive experience and wholesome thoughts about yourself, your friends and family, and your imminent experience. Before Why not before? Tell us what it is. Okay, I guess we'll just keep going though. Before astral travel, always visualize a protective circle around yourself. I guess that's really important because that happens in a lot of things. Imagine a white light around you. Visualize two large white hands. Visualize two large white hands come down and grab. And I got to move this camera. I just get distracted looking at myself sometimes. Visualize two large white hands come down and gently clean your aura from head to toe, removing all negativity. Embrace and enjoy the all over clean feeling this gives. Then adopt a comfortable position in a quiet place where you won't be interrupted, preferably right up in an armchair as you may fall asleep lying down. Use meditative music without drum beats. This is very, very specific. Clear your head of random thoughts. Focus on breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Visualize your breathing in tranquility, breathing without disharmony. Focus on each part of your body, starting with your feet, finishing up at your head. As you breathe, think my body is relaxing. When you feel very relaxed, I'm gonna try this today. When you feel very relaxed, choose a plane or a mantra to repeat over and over to yourself, such as I fly, I float, I rise, or count down from 10 to 1. If your mind starts drifting, return to your mantra. I fly, I float, I rise, or count down from 10 to 1. So if you start to wander in this process, either think I fly, I float, or rise, or count. You will enter a heightened state of stimulousness, awareness, of simultaneous, Lord have mercy. You will enter a heightened state of 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 simultaneous awareness and relaxation. I'm excited. Shoot. Your inner self and senses become super aware, but your body becomes extremely heavy and relaxed. Now you are ready for astral projection. Continue to repeat the phase or mantra that you have just used. Clear your head of everything and repeat it over and over again. Don't, oh, if I look, I was about to give that's why they say time is relative, because just as this, I was about to scroll up, like, this is crazy. Like, this ain't what I was looking for. Do not be impatient. Lord. Okay, sooner or later, you will leave your physical form. Initially, the realization that you have projected may force you back to your body. It gets easier as you practice. As you begin to leave your body, you will get the same sensation of movement as if you were moving a vehicle. This is a sign of your astral body beginning to separate from your physical. Myriad lights and colors appear in the front of your eyes. Use your thoughts to move around the astral plane. When it is time to return to your physical environment, simply make the decision to come back to your body. Visualize you are back in your body. Count from 1 to 10. So before you count it backwards, and now you're counting forward. That's something similar in the gateway experience as well. Count from 1 to 10. Focus on each part of your body and begin to move them all slowly. Do not hurry. Since you may have been physically static for hours, oh wow, it is not advisable to try to astral project on your own initially. The presence of an experienced guide is always recommended. Interesting. So this might mean like you might be the dangers. Dun dun dun. Like you might accidentally leave your body. Can you? Oh Lord. But you know what? I don't want to, because sometimes what can happen with like conversations of fear is that based on someone else's experience, they are iterating their experience. They're iterating from their vantage point and their view, and you might be more evolved, you might be less evolved. So I don't want to entertain that right now. I don't want to entertain that. So what's the difference between us? What's the difference? What is the difference? I was gonna say the difference. The difference between astral travel and meditation. Oh shoot. Or is it just a form of meditation? Okay, it's a form. For many high school, daily stressors at school, work, social. What is this about? Meditation, astral projection. The built-up angst can make it hard for students to function in their day-to-day lives, while others seek dangerous substances. Okay, meditation, according to the National Center of Complementary and Integrative Science Health, I just assumed I was going to say science. Meditation is a mind and body practice that has a long history of use for increasing calmness and physical relaxation, improving your physiological balance, coping with illness, and enhancing overall health and well-being. This practice has been used throughout generations, especially in cultures such as Buddhism, which is particularly centered around the idea of reaching enlightenment through meditation. These ideals are incredibly important, especially as teens continue to find themselves in the maze of hormones and social anxieties that they're constantly trapped in. With that being said, nowadays meditating at a young age is becoming more increasingly popular, especially since the push of healthier lifestyle began. This newfound movement of young people meditating is highly beneficial to those participating in it. Stress can negatively impact an individual, especially younger ones. In fact, chronic stress is known to accelerate the shortening of telomeres, which is responsible for preserving the body's chromosomes. Once these telomeres fade away, chromosomes start to deteriorate, ultimately leading to a weaker immune system and bones, along with other complications. Oh my gosh. A study published by Science Direct actually found that long-term meditators have a reduced inflammatory and stress response to psychological and chemical stressors in the lab compared to with a control group. This can indicate that on top of the numerous benefits that it holds, meditating at a younger age can help lead to a longer life expectancy. But like any other activity, meditation can range from simple to complex practices. So astral projection is a form of meditation. Astral projection, an incredibly difficult form of meditation, occurs when one becomes, okay, let's slow down. Occurs when one becomes so relaxed and in touch with their body and spirit that they become capable of having an out of body experience. This would involve having one's spirit or astral form physically exit their bodies. This astral form is capable of almost anything, including flight. My thing is, now, how do you know when you have astral projected, and how do you know when it's just meditation? Because I have had experiences where when I'm meditating, it's like I'm going to it's like I see other planets and stuff. Like I see, like one time when I was meditating, I saw these like beings that were pink and like they were round, not round, they were like pink, and everything was kind of like round. It was like everything here is more like square, and it was kind of more like a animated movie kind of look, and they were all like marshmallowy formed. If that makes sense. Like if you could imagine a city of like pink and purple corals, it was like that. And then like, but the corals being very, very smooth, like those monolithic domes, and all of the buildings looked like that. And the beings looked like their buildings, just in a more doughy form. So that's something that I saw. And so I've always wondered, like was that considered an astral travel, or is that like what is that? So I'm very, very curious, like what Like, what's the difference? How do you know when you're meditating versus when you're doing astral travel? I would like to know that. So, while many are skeptical, the practice has gained popularity as more and more people continue to share their experiences. Hundreds of YouTubers share their own astral projection stories as they all match up. Hmm. Many have stated that their experiences involve fighting off demons, seeing angels, flying into space, and even astral intercourse. These matching experiences only further legitimize the art of astral projection. While its accuracy is debated by many, there are too many matching stories for the practice to be fake. Regardless, meditation is a worthy investment of time, especially if you not only especially if you have difficulty relaxing. It is a great way to calm the body as well as the soul. Meditation will not only lead to a healthier, more relaxing lifestyle, but also a more joyful one. For high school students, especially, simply devote as little as 10 minutes a day to meditation, and you'll feel like a completely different person by the end of the week. Hmm. Keep meditating, keep it in my experience or whatever. ¿Qué hora es? Let's check my phone, make sure ain't nobody call me. Okay, cool things. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see what Cora's saying. What is the difference between oh, we already know that now. How do you know when you've astral traveled? Astral travel? Is it astral travel or astral travel? Okay, let's see. So let's see what the folks are saying. Okay. If you are on the astral plane during consciousness or astral projection, you will know it. I define an out of body experience as one that happens unintentionally. Astral projection, I define as intentionally, consciously leaving the body. You might fly during an astral projection, but still be on the physical plane. You can go see things around the world and what is happening in another place and verify it the next day. How? How, Sway, if you're not even seeing what's happening on Earth? We consciously leave our bodies every night while we sleep and spend time in the astral plane. Sometimes we are on a level of astral travel that is so abstract, it is downloaded and reduced down to dream imaginary, with to dream imagery we need to decode. On lower levels, one way you can tell it is the first level, everything on the physical plane is there, but as a flawed copy. There will even be slight differences from what it's here on the physical plane. For example, you may be in your house or office on the other side, but there are windows in the wrong place or door. So that could also mean that you're traveling through dimensions as well, because apparently there are very slight differences from dimension to dimension. Or so. Hmm. I don't know, man. It seemed like to me, honestly, all these people are just making their own interpretation of what it is. It doesn't seem like many people are really just like doesn't seem like many people are just putting it out there. So to me, it seems like people say you're astral traveling when you leave your body, because what can happen, this is my experience with meditation. Sometimes when I'm meditating, I'm literally just in I'm I'm in my head and I'm seeing colors and stuff. Or like I'm very, very in my body, if that makes sense. So, but another time I was meditating and I was meditating for like an hour and I was in it was like I saw Egypt and it was from my perspective and looking on the outside perspective. So perhaps that's astral traveling. And like what's difficult for one person is not necessarily difficult for another. Some of us are more innately to be able to do certain things. And why is that? I don't know. Some people say it's because of melanin. Some people say it's because of blood. Some people say it's just your affinities. Some people say you're chosen. Some people say you choose to be chose. Who knows? But some people just have a more innate ability or more natural talent than others. So just because one person might say it's difficult doesn't mean it's going to be difficult for you. And that's why I have to remind myself as well and remind others that whenever someone tells you something, it's from their interpretation of it. And likely it's their interpretation of someone else's interpretation of someone else's interpretation. So it's always good to keep your interpretations aware so you know, like, am I getting this because I think this, or am I getting this because I read or I heard about it from somewhere? So, with that being said, though, research is still important. So that's why I research to see, like, what exactly is astral travel? What exactly is astral projection? Because of the fact that you really, we don't know what we don't know. But I kind of figured that it was meditating, but it's so all that to say, it seems to me like we can conclude this investigation. Meditation is and you so in order to astral travel, in a sense, they're saying you must meditate. However, I'm not going to conclude the investigation yet because I'm just going to say something. I think that perhaps we are, because who's to say we're not in an astral plane right now? Who's to say that? Because when you go and you have those meditative experiences and you're in another form of consciousness, who's to say that that experience is not actually happening right now? And you just didn't go experience another version of this reality or another version of existence and experience. Who's to say that that being doesn't actually exist? We could be physically in the astral plane as well, and it's just we're in we're based in our central experience, so we're experiencing what we see. But who's to say that there's not, if you don't, if you have those experiences where you're like looking from another set of eyes, that that's not actually happening. And another experience that I had in meditation was they knew I wasn't from there. Like I beamed in or something. I zoomed in, and then I was looking around and they were like, "Oh, welcome. We've been waiting. Welcome." And I'm like, "What the?" And it was clear that I was not that I was not the same as these beings were. And they knew that I wasn't there. There's other experiences where like most of my meditative experiences, the beings know that I'm there and they know that I don't necessarily belong there. And then there are other experiences where they don't know, and I'm like, it's like I'm living someone else's life experience as that person. And then other times it's like looking up and watching them. So it's basically like dreaming in real time. Awake, it's dreaming awake. And then other times I'll be sitting there and it'll be just utter darkness. And there'll be like outlines and stuff. But the longer I'm in the meditative state, the deeper and deeper and deeper and more real it feels, the longer I'm in that meditative state. So, what if somewhere along the line, there's a version of us that's in a really, 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 really deep meditative experience? Because the difference for me about, is this a new mole? Difference for me is that when I'm in a different meditative state, or what was I gonna say? So when people, like, who knows? I'm just saying, like, maybe what if we're because like when I'm thinking about something, I can control my thought, but like you can't necessarily control your dreams unless you know you're dreaming. And then in my meditation, I'm not necessarily controlling the meditation, but I do have influence over it. But typically I like to just let the meditations happen. And sometimes I do have like an influence. I go, okay, I'll go here. But oftentimes I'm just like pulled. And it feels like it's instant in those things. But who's to say that that's not happening here? Who knows? But the longer you're in it and the more deeper, like the ones that I'm like seeing it through the person's eyes, I'm experiencing it. I don't have control in that. I'm just there experiencing it. And it's like stuff is happening around as if it already happened. I'm just there experiencing it as if it already happened. So what if that's happening here? Like, what if there's some version of us somewhere that's so deep in trance and meditation that that it is experiencing something that happened as if it's happening currently? What if? We don't know. We don't. That's why I be saying like when I say like we don't know and I don't know, like I don't know what's happening here, but something's going on. But what if that's what's taking place? Just something to think about. Let's give them something to think about. Okay, I'm out of here.